Hello everybody, this is Red Scarf Fox coming at you with another review video. Continuing our Jegan lineup for F91, we have the RGM 89M Jegan B-Type F91 version. And as you can tell from the box, this is a premium Bandai kit. And similar to the A-Type, it is a variation of this guy, that being the Char's Counterattack Jegan. And as we did before, we are going to first look at the box and the contents you get inside. So, starting with the box, very nice shade of green, and also some very nice artwork as well. Name of the kit on the side, some more images, and similar to the other side, this one just has a barcode, and similar to the side across from it. And, yep, looks a lot more heavily armored than the previous Jegan we looked at. So, let's open it and see what we are working with. So, starting off with our first lineup of runners. Looks like we have the Beam Saber runners here, the Char's Counterattack Jegan runners. It looks like these are both actually the older Char's Counterattack Jegan runners. So you have the visor here, the old beam rifle, old shield parts, and here you have the old backpack parts, and old chest part. This one, unlike the A-Type and the normal type for F91, actually comes with a new chest piece. So, yep, just some older runners that we've seen in both the Char's Counterattack and the older Jegan. Here's some of the new runners here. Here is the runner that comes with the new beam rifle, which is the same as the A-Types. But this also comes with the vent pieces that go on the new chest, the rocket pieces, or the fronts of the rockets, and a new head Vulcan piece. Looks like also in this one we have the, so this is an old runner. This has the legs and feet parts, but behind that we have a new runner that comes with the new chest, arm, and leg pieces, and some of the backpack pieces as well. And finally, for runners, we have the D runner here. This is in the previous Jegan as well. This is mainly for joint pieces. And the sticker pieces, which are the same as the A-Type. Moving on to the instructions. You have the instructions needed to convert the original kit into the B-Type. So it tells you how to make the pieces that are exclusive to this kit. And a simple sheet of paper. And once again, like with the A-Type, we see the return of the Jegan instruction manual for the Char's Counterattack version. Alright. And that is it for the contents of the box. And all we have to do now is get them built. And once that is finished, I will be back and we can go into the review. And we are back, and there he is, looking like a very typical mass-produced mobile suit. And starting off right with the aesthetic here. And like the last video, I'm going to keep the Char's Counterattack Jegan close so we can do comparisons with the design. So the head is mostly similar except for a new head Vulcan piece. This one with a larger, more triangular shaped antenna. The torso is a new front piece that has larger chest vents, and I have to admit the B-Type really rocks at the chest vents. I think it looks really good. Maybe it's the color separation, perhaps. Looking into the arms are mostly the same except for the left arm here, which contains a beam saber rack that holds 2 beam sabers. Moving on to the waist. The waist is mostly the same build, but with a sticker at the Federation symbol, and these new waist-mounted missile pods. Looks like some good 5-tube missile pods, packing some firepower there. The legs are mostly the same, the only difference being the sides do not have these side verniers, which is an interesting design choice. You think you want your suit to have more thrust, but that's why you have the backpack, and this is a new backpack piece, and this is actually also different from the A-type, which has a much bulkier backpack with more thrusters. This one is more similar to the classic with its thruster bells. And very nice backpack. Now, like kits like this, since this is an older kit, there are some parts that you would need to color in. These shoulder vents should probably be a different color. But for the most part, and maybe these vents would be gray as well, but for the most part, pretty nice looking kit. It is nice that it has the chest color separation for the vents. And next we will look at all these beautiful accessories we have lying in front of us. So going on to the accessories, starting with our hands, you have 2 standard fist hands. These can be used to hold the beam sabers, and you also have a trigger finger hand, which will be used for the don't focus on him, focus on the hands, which will be used for the beam rifles. And speaking of beam rifles, we have the Char's Counterattack Jegan beam rifle, which is an extra weapon you get, and like the A-type, you do get this as an extra accessory if you wish to use it or equip it to another kit. You have the new beam rifle. This is the same type that the A-type uses, and it is returning for the B-type as well. Very nice long beam rifle, and equipping that is easy. You get your trigger finger hand, tab it in like so, tab in the other side like so. Nice snug fit. And we get our Jegan. Remove the right hand, plug it in, and we are set to go. Moving on, you have some beam saber blades. These are different lengths, one slightly longer than the other. And as I said earlier, the beam sabers are stored here in the rack, and getting them out is very easy. And you also have 2, so if you want to use both, you can. It's easy as plugging it in like so, and putting it in the hand. And there you go, you got armed with your beam saber as well. These are some more extra accessories you get. You get the waist beam saber hilt from the Char's Counterattack Jegan, as well as the grenade rack. And these can be swapped out for the shoulders if you so desire, but they mainly serve as extra accessories. And finally, you get your Jegan missile shield. This is the same shield that was found on the A-type, and I found out what was for the extra hole that's on the top. This is actually specific for this kit because the tab is higher than what it usually would be, so it allows the missiles, the shield, to stay aligned with the arm, and tabbing that in is easy. Just attach it to your shield connector piece and tab it in like so, and you have your shield. And similar to the A-type, you do have some extra runners that come with extra legs. You have the extra chest piece, extra backpack parts, and the extra Vulcan pot for the head if you so desire. So you do have some customization options and are not just limited to the standard B-type. If you wish to mix and match parts, the option is there. Now we move on to the articulation. So the articulation of our B-type here is pretty standard and is very similar to other Jegan models. So let's get straight into it. The head is on a ball joint and can move side to side very far. The collar piece does kind of get in the way of the head articulation with the way it's designed, but if it does get in the way, you can always lift the head up on the neck, which allows you to get a slight head lift, and you can also lower it back down to a more normal neck position. The torso can swivel around only slightly because the backpack can get in the way with the missile pods, but you also have some side to side and up to down movement if you lift up the torso a bit. The arms can go out this far and can rise about this far. There's a gimmick where these rise on the side, which allow you to get a higher raising of the arms. The shoulders can also move to get out of the way. You have a swivel here at the arm, bend at the arm 90 degrees, and your hands are on ball joints, which allow you to get some pretty decent movement. These missile pods can move out to the side, like so, and they can also move forward and back. The legs can kick out this far and kick back this far. And you have an okay spread at the legs. Legs on a ball joint and do have some pieces that move to spread them out. And the inner waist piece can also slightly move if you need to angle your legs. A little slightly over 90-degree bend at the legs, pretty nice. And your feet on a ball joint, which allows them to pivot around, raise, and lower. The back movement is slightly hindered by this thruster back here, but it will offer most of the poses you need. And finally, to the backpack, these thruster arms can move down and up, or more like forward and back. And they can move forward pretty far. These thruster here can kind of wiggle, and this one also has some movement as well. So yep, some pretty standard articulation. Very, very good articulation. And also, something I did not mention in my last video, there is a peg down here for an action base, so if you do want to get some flying action with your Jegans, you can absolutely do so, and gives you some more options with the poses that you would like to pull off. Finally, moving on to some size comparisons. Here he is next to another grunt suit, that being the Dagger L. Here he is next to a Master Grade, that being the Zaku Cannon. Here he is next to a Converge figure. Not a Converge figure, a G-frame figure. Here he is next to a Converge figure. And finally, here he is next to the Jegan A-type from my last review, and next to a Lucario. So overall, the Jegan B-type F91 version is a pretty nice kit, pretty solid build, and it does go very well with the other Jegan builds. Even as a standalone suit, I think it has some pretty unique features that help it stand out amongst a crowd. Although I will say it is probably better to have your Jegans grouped up together, kind of how these are meant to kind of be a set with the A-type and the normal type. And similar to, like I said in my last review video, if you are a fan of the Jegan, or you just like to collect all the Jegans you possibly can, I would definitely recommend getting this kit. It's a very nice build, and with the missile and chest pieces, it again has some very unique standout features that some other Jegan variants do not have. And here he is next to the A-type, just so you can see how well they kind of go together. And I'll also throw in the Char's Counterattack Jegan as well. And yeah, they look very nice as a team. So definitely a good army builder suit. And also, as I mentioned in my previous video, the Jegan variants from F91 might not be as hard to get because sometimes Bandai does reissue them. Especially, they usually reissue them in a group as well, so it is possible to get the A, B, and normal type all together if you so desire. But this has been my review of the Jegan B-type from Gundam F91. A very nice kit, and I would recommend picking it up. Pretty standard, pretty nice, and pretty solid. With that, this has been Red Scarf Fox, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.